is a legend in his native Iran and in many countries around the world. But sculptor Parviz Tanavoli never had a museum show here in the U.S. until now. WGBH News arts editor Jared Bowen takes us to the Davis Museum at Wellesley College, where their latest exhibition features the man who's considered the father of modern Iranian sculpture.
He's like a blank spot on the radar of the U.S. consciousness in the arts. That's unthinkable and it's unforgivable. So here we have this amazing opportunity to redress the situation.
The situation is that Parviz Tanavoli is regarded as one of the world's leading contemporary artists and certainly the highest-selling Iranian one. For 60 years, he's produced sculpture, painting, and jewelry, all rooted in Persian myths and culture. And yet the 77-year-old artist is only receiving his first major U.S. exhibition now at the Davis Museum.
Well, I must tell you, culture is flourishing.
For as long as he can remember, Tanavoli says he's been enamored with poetry and music. It became his wellspring as a child growing up in Tehran, and today it colors his descriptions of his work. Cages are a recurrent theme.
For most people, cage is like a jail, you know, like a prison, but not to me, no. In my culture, poets talk about their chest as a cage. In that chest, there is a nightingale singing all the time, gets agitated, and that's what causes the poet to write poetry.
There is an optimism and beauty that has infused Tanavoli's work, even when it wasn't present in his life. The Iranian Revolution forced him to become an absent artist.
There were a lot of difficulties to make a sculpture. There was no fuel, no power, and very little could have been done in my studio. That's why I started mostly reading, researching, and traveling the country.
Throughout war, Tanavoli literally continued to make something out of nothing. Heech is the Farsi word for nothing, and in the 1960s, Tanavoli began interpreting the word as it exists in the form of its Arabic script. The Heech is now a project 50 years running.
I just gave a body to it because that was just a drawing in 3D. And that was only the start of it. And then I realized that that was a great discovery because it was very elastic and was very adaptable with other objects.
Today, Tanavoli produces his work from studios in both Vancouver and Tehran, although he's currently embroiled in a suit with Iranian authorities.
The mayor of Tehran, who was a cultured man, he expressed his love to have to turn my house into a museum with some of my artworks, and I accepted it. I thought that was a great idea. But then, soon after him, Ahmadinejad became the mayor. He wasn't the culture man. He didn't like any of that, and he closed my museum down. And I had to fight for nearly 6 years to get my house back, but my artwork were taken away.
Even so, for his lifetime of prolific output, Tanavoli remains an iconic figure in Iran. His optimism is just as pervasive.
Will you ever slow down?
Not so far. Not so far. The age hadn't changed me, and I work the same as I used to do 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I don't get tired of my work, I mean.
You're lucky. I think there are a lot of people who wish they could say that.
I think I'm lucky.
Jared Bowen, WGBH News.